Today, I'm making lumpia. That's a Filipino egg roll. Very, very different than other egg rolls you've had, the other Asian egg rolls. My daughter-in-law is Filipino, and she just makes it, you know. She doesn't really measure anything. She finally stopped and measured everything and gave me a recipe. So let's get started on Darlene's table. We'll start with grating the carrots. And it didn't take much. It only took about 2 carrots to make this cup. And I have 1 pound of 85% beef and 1 pound of ground pork. So now I'm doing the sweet potato. 1 cup of sweet potato. Next is finely minced red onion. Now my husband cut this very fine for me. I did not use the grater. And now we'll mince the garlic. You can use your favorite seasoning in this. I used nature seasoning. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. Mix it well so you don't even see the vegetables. You want to make sure this is mixed very well. Now I'm going to add the egg. Now this meat is going to go into the refrigerator overnight, and I'll roll them tomorrow. These are the wrappers that I used. You can find them in any Asian market. See, right there it says Filipino Lumpia. They're not ordinary egg roll wrappers. Anyway, I did order these on Amazon the first time. Don't do that. I got them in. They were more expensive, and they were all molded. So we went to Houston to an Asian market and found them. $3 for a package. And they will keep in the freezer for quite some time. So I got about 6 or 7 packages. First we're going to cut these in half because I'm making an appetizer size rolls. They are delicate, but as you can see, I'm really pulling on them, so they come apart. Just make sure you keep your hand down close to the base where you're pulling. So I'm going to lay these triangles out with the corner away from me. And I'm going to layer them. There we go. See, one on top of another. You can do as many as you want. I did 5 or 6. Let's go with that. The meat will go on each strip right there. These are the best little appetizers no matter what size you decide to make them. So I'm using a pastry bag. It's really easy, or you could even use like a gallon freezer bag and just cut the tip. Work it down. But this will get it nice and packed. You want to use your finger. You want to be able to stick your finger, and that's the size hole you want. Okay, that's going to work. Alright, here we go. I laid a wet paper towel over this while I was putting the meat in the bag. I'm just going to pipe the meat along these upper edges. See how quickly it goes? I've got an egg wash, which is just an egg, a beaten egg with a little water. That'll go on the tip as I roll them. Just roll them, try to roll them tightly. And that egg wash helps to hold that corner down, especially when you fry them. So when I'm done with all of these, and it wound up making 65 out of that one package of the smaller ones, I'm going to put them in the freezer overnight. Tomorrow I'll take them out and I'll bag them up in quart freezer bags or whatever type you want. Just make sure you use a good freezer bag. They keep about 6 months in the freezer, but they never last that long, so I don't have to worry about it. This is a great appetizer for Super Bowl. All you got to do is fry them. Now, we're all done, and they'll go in the freezer. Put layers of saran wrap between the layers and on top. Alright, so the lumpia was in the freezer overnight, and I'm going to uncover it and start bagging it up. I am going to reserve about a dozen and cook them. So just put however many you want in a bag. And I'm not sure how many I'm going to put in a bag. These are the smaller ones. 12. Well, that's 1 dozen. And I've dated them. These should keep made up a good 6 months in your freezer. And the egg roll wrappers, my daughter-in-law says, don't pay attention to the package, that they will keep for a good year in the freezer. I must have counted wrong because I thought I had 65, but I thought maybe there were some extra wrappers in there. It says there's 30 to a package. But anyway, I've got 4 dozen here and a dozen here, so that's 5 dozen, that's 60. That's 30 wrappers divided in half, so obviously I counted wrong. All right, so I'm going to fry the lumpia. My daughter-in-law does it this way. Either use a colander or a bowl that's paper lined, and we're going to kind of stand them up so they really drain well. The grease really drains well. You're going to turn these several times. Remember that we have raw meat in here, so although they're not very big around, we've got to make sure that that raw meat cooks all the way through. So we'll turn them several times. We'll turn them for the first time. Alright, so here we go. We're going to take them out, and I'm going to stand it up like this. That helps any grease to drain out. You see? Now I'm going to do the next 6. Well, these are the last ones to fry, and then we'll plate them up and enjoy them. They won't last long. Lumpia, Filipino egg rolls. Lumpia are small egg rolls filled with pork, beef, carrots, sweet potato, red onions, and garlic. They're rolled in a paper-thin wrapper, then deep fried, usually dipped in an Asian sauce, which is a slightly sweet sauce. These little babies are crowd pleasers, the perfect appetizers for parties and socials. This recipe made around 60 rolls. Everyone eats about 3 or 4 or more. You might consider that when you're planning a party. And the last point I want to make is that they can be made in advance. My sweet daughter-in-law, Nympha, is from the Philippines. She gave me this recipe for my YouTube channel. This is my first time making lumpia without her, and I think they came out great. They may not be rolled as neatly as she does, but the taste was spot on. Of course, you can find this recipe on Darlene's Table with the ingredients and directions on how to make this dish. I have also included the direct link to the recipe in the video description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. Also tap that notification bell. That way you can keep up with what's going on Darlene's Table.